everybody, it's Bernie here from Stamp and Eat, and welcome back to another Friday card making session with me. This month of July is watercolor month. I don't know if you were aware of that in the stamping world. So I thought it would be an awesome way to show you how simple and easy it is to actually do watercolors. But I also thought I'd make this very adorable little card and show you exactly how I created all those watercolor effects, where I die cut those little air bubbles or water bubbles and the sea, as well as the little boat that this gorgeous little hippo's on. And if you like this little hippo, it is a free gift with purchase in this month's Sale-a-Bration. So Sale-a-Bration runs from July to August, and you get free gifts with purchase. And if you look on page 4 of the New Zealand catalogue, and if you don't have a catalogue, or if you're watching this and you would like to get your hands on a catalogue and you don't yet have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in New Zealand, please flick me a comment and I will get hold of you and I can send you one. So with this, you can get the free stamp set for a gift for purchase of 110 New Zealand dollars, and if you like the dies, you can get them for an additional purchase of 110 dollars New Zealand. Alternatively, you can actually just do them separately as well. So look at those gorgeous little ideas that are in the catalogue. So I thought, let's have some fun with the Hippest Hippo stamp set. So this is what it looks like. It is a cling stamp set, which are by far my favorites. I like them because they're easy to stamp with and they just give such wonderful images. So we're going to use the Hippest Hippo stamp set, and I'm going to show you how I colored that with blends, and I'm going to obviously demonstrate how I do my watercolor technique. So I'm going to set that to the side. Now, if you've been following me long enough, you can probably guess already what my measurements are. I'm using basic thick white cardstock from Stampin' Up! I love the quality of this cardstock. It is super sturdy, and my basic card measurements are 5.5 by 8 1/4, scored at 4 1/8. And then you're going to also need a 4 by 5 1/4 inch white cardstock, and I've decided this time to emboss it with the splatters. This one I tried to sort of get a bit of a wave look behind the scenes, and the only one I had in my stash was the Pine 3D folder, but I've decided I'm going to change it and use the Splatters 3D folder, which comes in the Splatters and Stripes, and I have used that on a previous video as well. So if you're going to do watercolor, you're going to need to either have fluid 100 watercolor paper, or you can use the shimmer paper. So I don't know if I can pick this up. Let me see if I can pick this up in the light. It doesn't look like it, but there's a bit of a shimmer to it, and if I place it next to the white, you can see there's a color difference too. And the reason we use that is because it is I'm just moving these all away because we're going to use with watercolors soon. The reason for that is because it is a denser piece of paper, so it means that the water doesn't go right through to the other side and sort of rub off. So let's make these waves. So I'm going to show you how I did it. I used Coastal Cabana refill, Bermuda Bay refill, and the new In Color Tahitian Tide. And I literally just pop a drop on my block. Now you can use any clear block that you have. If you don't have, you can even use a plate or anything that will just not absorb the color. That's what we're after. And then I like to use my spritzers. They come in a pack of 2, the stamping spritzers, and I actually have one marked. I'm just moving this out the way quickly. I have one marked alcohol, and then the other one's obviously water. And you can see already why I moved them, because it's splattered. So I'm just going to turn that over. Then I'm using my thick paint brush of my water painters. Now you can hopefully see it says push, and you can hopefully see there's water in there. And if I push it, and you can see my brushes are still blue from this project I made for the card, there's water coming out if you push it hard enough. Okay, I also like to just give my paper a light spray with water just to prepare it for the paint coming. Now I'm just using my water paint brush, and I'm just mixing the colors. There's really no, I mean, if you wanted to do, you know, beautiful water paint designs, of course you can, but I've said it before, and I've said it on my blog, I'm no artist, so this is pretty much as arty as it gets for me. And you get the idea. So you just go as deep or as light as what you want. And I generally recommend that one wipe that off as soon as you finished, or otherwise you should just set it to the side, because trust me, accidents happen with this very messy technique. So I'm going to set that aside. Now, the big thing with watercolor is that you actually will need this to dry. If you are in a tremendous hurry, you can use your heat tool gun to dry that. But I've actually gone ahead and prepared some ahead of time, so just to save some of your time, and we can continue with my project that I want to show you. So I do just want to wipe my hands just in case I have ink on them, because you don't want to spoil your card, and I just always use baby wipes for that. Okay, and as you can see, there is ink on there, so I would encourage you to do that as a habit. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp our little hippo. Looking for it. Oh, it's right next to me. Okay, I'm going to use this image, and I'm going to be inking it in Memento Black, because we are going to use alcohol ink pens, blending pens. And I've mentioned it before on previous videos. I actually like to dab my Memento Black on the way I've just shown you. I seem to find that the coverage for that is much, much better. So when you've inked it up, the Memento is already dry enough that you can actually start using blends. And I thought for this card that I was going to create an adorable, whimsical little hippo. I almost said piggy. So I'm going to be using a light pink, petal pink, a dark petal pink, and I'm using, not that one, I'm using light grey granite just to create a little bit of a shadow. So let's start with the light, and with the broad tip I'm just going to color in. I'm going around the eyes, because I am actually going to fill those eyes in with blue. And like I say, this is not really what hippos look like. I'm actually hoping I might see some in a few weeks' time when I head back to my birth country of South Africa. Hoping to go and do a bit of a game drive and see if I can spot some animals. Alright, so I'm just going to go lightly in her tummy. Very good. Now with the bullet tip of the grey granite, I'm just coming in here lightly where the shadows would normally be, sort of underneath. Not all the way, and just on her head a little bit. And then I'm just going to come in with the dark petal pink and just here and there. I'm just going to bring her color in. And then I'm just going to give it a few minutes to dry, but while I'm doing that, I'm using the dark Flirty Flamingo, and I'm just coloring in her ears and her gorgeous little pink toes. Now, you can color them in if you want those ones, but the way I'm going to position this card is actually going to be lost, so I'm not going to bother. Oh yes, and her mouth needs to be colored. And then I'm going to use the beautiful Tahitian Tide, the light one, for her eyes. They're just so pretty. And then once I've done that, I'm going to come back in with the petal pink, the light one, and I'm just going to pull in that dark shading that I had. So if you're using alcohol blending pens for the first time, do just give them a few minutes to settle in and blend. That's the beauty of the fact that they are blending pens, that they do eventually merge, so don't be in a huge hurry to use them. I'm going to just also do her little nostrils in pink. Awesome. All right, so now I'm going to die cut this out with the die that comes with that beautiful set. They are gorgeous. Let me just show you some of the things that you can get in it close up. So you've got little tubs, umbrellas, die cuts for the little the other hippos, boats, flowers, a life ring, little sunglasses. We're going to I've used that to cut out the waves. I've used that to cut out her snorkel and her mask, and there's her snorkel, and that's what we're going to use for the water droplets. So very, very cute die set. So I'm just going to go and cut this one out, and then we can carry on with the card. Okay, so we've cut her little body out. Now, for the sake of time, I did a bit of preparation work ahead of time. So I just want to show you, I decided that in this one, there was a lot of blue going on. So I thought it might be better if we put her in a little pink or a yellow boat. So I actually watercolored this paper as well. And I'm going to actually use my right marker. It's Mango Melody, and I'm going to go in these little marks of the boat. So I'm using the same color right marker as what I did for the watercolor, just to create a little bit of tone on tone. Okay, so we'll go there, and I've cut out the water that I'd already die cut for the waves. So we're going to assemble this little hippo and her little boat. So I really would encourage you to use a silicone mat for this part of the project that doesn't stick, and it just makes your job a whole lot easier. I'm using my normal Tombow glue, and if any of these items you'd like to get hold of them and you are living in New Zealand, you just need to go on to stampingup.net and you can search up Bernie Roodt, that's R-O-O-D-T, and then you can shop with me. And while we're on the topic of saying thank you for support, I also just want to say thank you so much to everybody that's been subscribing to my channel. I am almost at my next goal now of 80. Every week I am closer and closer and closer to 3 digits, and it's all because of you guys. You are awesome in your support, so thank you so much. So I'm just gluing these just to create a bit of a wave effect and I'm just putting them under each other, and I do find it helpful to use tweezers for these sort of jobs. And I'm just going to cut this one off. I might actually tuck that one underneath now that I'm looking at how abrupt it looks. So I'm going to tuck that one underneath. That's better. And I'm going to glue this one down. So this blue was watercolored. So if you make it, it's going to look completely different every time. You're never going to get the identical look on each card unless you paint a whole lot of cardstock and cut it out. And even there you're going to have the variations, which I think is awesome. When I cut the little, and I'm only just seeing two of them now. When I cut the little water bubble, water thingies, I deliberately chose a part of the paper that was lighter. And yeah, I'm just looking down. I'm seeing the only two. I wonder where the third one's gone to. Oh, missing. It's decided it doesn't want to go on camera. Okay, let's lift this guy up. This is the other beauty about Tombow. If you don't know this product, or liquid adhesive glue as it's known, it gives you a bit of a gap to work with. So I like that. That's cool. Awesome. I'm cutting that off with my glue scissors and not my paper snips. Now I'm going to put my little hippo behind the boat, and I'm deliberately leaving her little toe out. So I'm going to just glue her toe over there, and I'm adhering her behind there. I want it to look like she's jumping for joy. And then I'm going to put that on our dimensionals. So I'll put one over here, and I'll put one over here, and from memory I need one on her head. Take off the backing. Right, now we're positioning her. You can see I've actually put her a little bit closer to the top than my previous card. That's okay. So we've got her ready now. Now we can put on her little snorkel mask, and I'm using the fine tip glue for this. This is really ideal. And again, oops, wrong way around. Let's just get those tweezers. Sometimes it feels like I'm a surgeon and not a stamper with all these tools, eh? So I'm putting on her goggles. What I find with this fine tip glue is that it's not like Tombow. It doesn't seem to stick on, adhere straight away. So if you are using it, just be patient. And now I'm putting her little snorkel on. Do you see what I mean? It's really just have to be super patient. And I just use the back of my thingy for that. Now, I don't know what's happened to that third little bubble, that little water bubble. It's gone AWOL. That's no good. I'm going to have to cut another one. Okay, so this one's got a left orientation. So we'll put that one down there. Oh, there it is. It's hiding. It's shown itself. Right, and that one's going to go on there. And this one is going to go in the middle. So let's just bring that down. Awesome. So that is a little bit higher, but that's okay. That's not a problem. So I'll just move that all to the side. And now I'm going to use my Tombow glue at the back. And I'm going to glue that onto the card base. Always just make sure before you glue that you check that your card is actually opening on the right way. It has happened. It has happened many times. Okay. Now, a bit of a sentiment. So because this one is actually more towards the top, there's a lot of white space here, which I didn't have that much on. So I'm still going to say love you a ton, but I'm just wondering to myself now what I should do with that extra spare space. So with that extra spare space, I was having a look and I decided that I'm actually going to die cut 3 of these little life rafts out of the blue that I made. So I'm just going to finish that up with you and put that in place. And I think it really finishes that little picture. So we'll put those. What do you think about over here? And then I can still stamp my sentiment and I might put that over there. So this is a really good example for you of how different placement can change a design and how it's actually okay. And I hope that helps you just to see that, you know, even those of us that have been doing this craft for, I don't know, 20 plus years now, even we are faced regularly. I'm actually going to change this to Tombow. We faced regularly with design challenges, and so yeah, I just had a look at that and I thought, what can I do to make it look balanced? And this is the idea I've come up with. So pop a comment. What do you think? Do you think I've done okay with balancing that empty space? What would you have done? I'd love to hear what you would have done. If you think they would have maybe done something different, I'd love to hear it. Why don't you pop a comment down below for me? So we're almost done, guys. So the last thing we need to do is just put our little sentiment, and I'm using some scraps. I'm going to still use the Love You a Ton, which comes from the same stem set. I'm going to punch this one in, or stamping it first, oops. Stamping it first in Melon Mambo, and then I just decided I had an old punch that I really liked the shape of it, so I had an oval that I wanted to use. You can use any shape you like, and then I just took my Melon Mambo, I just want to make sure it is my Melon Mambo right marker, and I'm just going to go around the edge and just create a fun little border. And this card really lends itself to that because it looks sort of nautical, and it's just a fun sort of way to end the card. And I'm going to pop that on dimensionals. Just going to do a couple. So yes, if you love this little set, and I think it is absolutely adorable, then it is available only while stocks last, so don't take too long in making a purchase that would qualify you for that. So here we have my original, where it was sort of more balanced in the middle of the page of the card, and that was the sole focus. And then this one, I started off the waves too high up, and so that everything sort of gravitated up, and so I had to bring the eye back down a little bit, and I've used the little life rings on that one. So those are 2 cards that I've made with the watercolor technique, but I also want to show you 2 other cards that I've done. And with these ones I used a Stampin', what we call as emboss resist technique. So this is a slightly different look, and yet they used the same stamp set, and that is the Botanical Layers stamp set. So with this I used white, and in the background I've used the Fern 3D folder, and I've used the free Sale-a-Bration paper. There's gold and silver, and then following the similar theme I've done a bolder card. This is also a emboss resist technique using the stamp set from the botanical layer. This was an interesting color combination. It was old olive, soft succulent, and soft suede that I combined, and I mounted it on soft suede. And again, in the background here, the free Sale-a-Bration paper that it's of the same set as that one, and then I just stamped in the soft suede. So here you have four different cards really, with a watercolor technique that is a highlight for the month of July. So I hope you're going to go out and try it this weekend. You don't necessarily have to have water painters like I used. You can just use an ordinary paintbrush, as long as you've just got some ink and water and cardstock. So have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Enjoy having a play with this technique, and remember, until we meet again, stamp, eat, sleep, repeat.